Now let us study about adaptive equalizers. Now the introduction to adaptive equalizers. In the previous class we have studied about zero forcing equalizers and equalizers based on minimum mean square error. So now we have seen that the tap coefficients of a linear equalizer can be determined by solving a set of linear equations. In the zero forcing optimization criteria, what we have studied earlier, and in the optimization criteria based on minimizing the MSE, that is mean square error, in both cases we may express the set of linear equations in the general matrix form that is given by BC is equal to D. Already we have discussed about it, where B is a 2n plus 1 cross 2n plus 1 matrix, and C is a column vector representing the 2n plus 1 equalizer coefficients, and here D is a 2n plus 1 dimension column vector. Now the solution of this particular equation, so that yields C optimum. This is what is required. C optimum, that is equal to B inverse D. Already we have discussed about it. Now in practical implementations of equalizers, the solution of the equation for the optimum coefficient vector is usually obtained by an iterative procedure that avoids the explicit computation of the inverse of the matrix B. The simplest iterative procedure is the method of steepest descent, in which one begins by choosing arbitrarily the coefficient vector C, say C0. This initial choice of coefficients corresponds to a point on the criteria function that is being optimized. For example, in the case of MSE criteria, the initial guess C0 corresponds to a point on the quadratic MSE surface in the 2n plus 1 dimensional space of coefficients. The gradient vector defined as G0, which is the derivative of the MSE with respect to the 2n plus 1 filter coefficients, is then computed at this point on the criteria surface, and each tap coefficients is changed in the direction opposite to its corresponding gradient component. This is very important. The change in the jth tap coefficient is proportional to the size of the jth gradient component. Now for example, the gradient vector denoted as GK for the MSE criteria found by taking the derivative of the MSE with respect to each of the 2n plus 1 coefficients, and it is given by GK, that is equal to BCK minus D, where K is equal to 0, 1, 2, etc. Then the coefficient vector CK is updated according to the relation CK plus 1, that is equal to CK minus delta GK, where delta is the step size of the parameter for the iterative procedure. To ensure convergence of the iterative procedure, delta is chosen to be a small positive number. In such a case, the gradient vector GK converges towards 0, that is GK converges towards 0 as K tends to infinity, and the coefficient vector CK tends to C optimum as illustrated in the figure based on two-dimensional optimization. In general, convergence of the equalizer tap coefficients to C optimum cannot be attained in a finite number of iterations with the steepest descent method. However, the optimum solution, that is C opt, can be approached as closely as desired in a few hundred iterations. In digital communication systems that employ channel equalizers, each iteration corresponds to a time interval for sending one symbol, and hence a few hundred iterations to achieve convergence to C opt corresponds to a fraction of seconds. So the adaptive channel equalization is required for channels whose characteristics change with the time. In such a case, the ISI, that is inter-symbol interference, varies with the time. The channel equalizer must track such time variations in the channel response and adopt its coefficients to reduce the ISI. In the context of the above discussion, the optimum coefficient vector C opt varies with the time due to time variations in the matrix B. And for the case of MSE criteria, time variations in vector D. So under these conditions, the iterative method described above that can be modified to use estimates of the gradient components. Thus, the algorithm for adjusting the equalizer tap coefficients may be expressed as Ck plus 1 cap, that is equal to Ck cap minus delta of Gk cap, where Gk cap denotes an estimate of the gradient vector Gk and Ck cap denotes the estimate of the tap coefficient vector. In case of the MSE criteria, that is mean square error criteria, the gradient vector Gk may also be expressed as Gk, that is equal to minus of expectation of Ek into Yk. An estimate Gk cap of the gradient vector at the kth iteration is computed as Gk cap, that is equal to minus of Ek into Yk, where Ek denotes the difference between the desired output from the equalizer at the kth time instant and the actual output Z of kt, and Y denotes the column vector of 2n plus 1 received signal value contained in the equalizer at time instant k. So now the error signal Ek is expressed as Ek is equal to Ak minus Zk, where Zk is equal to Z of kt is the equalizer output and Ak is the desired symbol. Hence, by substituting Gk cap equation into the equation for Ck plus 1 cap, we obtain the adaptive algorithm for optimizing the tap coefficients, mainly based on the MSE criteria, as Ck plus 1 cap, that is equal to Ck cap plus delta of delta Ek Yk. Since an estimate of the gradient vector is used in the equation, the algorithm is called as stochastic gradient algorithm, and it is also known as LMS algorithm. The next topic is linear adaptive equalizer based on the MSE criteria. A block diagram of an adaptive equalizer that adopts its tap coefficients according to stochastic gradient algorithm is illustrated or shown in the figure. If you observe the figure carefully, we can note that the difference between the desired output Ak and the actual output Zk from the equalizer is used to form the error signal Ek. This error is scaled by the step size parameter delta and the scaled error signal delta Ek multiplies the received signal value y of kt minus n tau at the 2n plus 1 taps. The product here, that is delta Ek y of kt minus n tau at the 2n plus 1 taps, are then added to the previous value of the tap coefficients to obtain the updated tap coefficients. This computation is repeated for each received symbol, thus the equalizer coefficients are updated at the symbol rate. The same explanation is given here. Initially, the adaptive equalizer is trained by the transmission of a known pseudo-random sequence represented as EM over the channel. At the demodulator, the equalizer employs the known sequence to adjust its coefficients. Upon initial adjustment, the adaptive equalizer switches from training mode to decision directed mode, in which case the decision at the output of the detector are sufficiently reasonable so that the error signal is formed by computing the difference between the detector output and the equalizer output. That is, through this equation we can show that is EK, that is equal to AK dash minus ZK, where this AK dash is the output of the detector. In general, the decision errors at the output of the detector occur infrequently, and consequently such errors have little effect on the performance of the tracking algorithm. Now, a thumb rule for selecting the step size parameters so as to ensure convergence and good tracking capabilities in slow varying channel is given by delta, that is equal to 1 divided by 5 into 2n plus 1 into PR, where PR denotes the received signal plus noise power, which can be estimated from the received signal. The next topic is an adaptive zero forcing equalizer. The representation of adaptive zero forcing equalizer is shown in the figure. The operation of an adaptive equalizer based on zero forcing method is very similar to the adaptive equalizer based on MSE, what we have studied earlier. The major difference lies in the method for estimating the gradient vector GK at each iteration. The next topic is decision feedback equalizer. The linear filter equalizer described above, what we have studied till now, are very effective on channels such as wireline telephone channels, where the ISI, that is inter-symbol interference, is not severe. The severity of the ISI is directly related to the spectral characteristics and not necessarily to the time span of the ISI. The basic limitation of a linear equalizer is that it performs poorly on channels having spectral nulls. Decision feedback equalizer, represented as DFE, is a non-linear equalizer that employs previous decisions to eliminate the ISI, that is inter-symbol interference, caused by previously detected symbols on the current symbol to be detected. A simple block diagram of a DFE, that is decision feedback equalizer, is shown in the figure. The DFE, that is the decision feedback equalizer, consists of two filters as shown in the block diagram. The first filter is called a feed forward filter, and it is generally a fractionally spaced FIR filter with the adjustable tap coefficients. This filter is identical in the form to the linear equalizer described above, that is what we have studied just now. From the feed forward filter output, the output of the feedback filter is subtracted that is nothing but the output of the detector, and this is given as input to the detector itself as shown in the figure. As shown in the figure, the second filter is a feedback filter. It is implemented as an FIR filter with symbol-spaced taps having adjustable coefficients. Its input is the set of previously detected symbols. The output of the feedback filter is subtracted from the output of the feed-forward filter to form the input to the detector as shown in the figure. Thus, we have Zm, that is equal to summation n is equal to 1 to n1 Cn into y of mt minus n tau minus summation n is equal to 1 to n2 bn into am cap minus n as shown in the equation, where Cn and bn are the adjustable coefficients of the feed forward and the feedback filter shown in the figure respectively, and m minus n cap where n is equal to 1, 2, 3 till n2 are the previously detected symbols. N1 is the length of the feed forward filter, and in the equation N2 is the length of the feedback filter. Now, based on the input Zm, the detector determines which of the possible transmitted symbols is closest in distance to the input signal Zm. Thus, it makes its decision and output am cap or am dash. And now the important thing is what makes the DFE, that is decision feedback equalizer, nonlinear is the nonlinear characteristic of the detector which provides the input to the feedback filter. The tap coefficients of the feed forward and feedback filters are selected to optimize some desired performance measures. For mathematical simplicity, the MSE criterion is usually applied, and a stochastic gradient algorithm is commonly used to implement an adaptive DFE. That is an adaptive decision feedback equalizer. And we should mention that decision errors from the detector that are fed to the feedback filter have a small effect on the performance of DFE, that is decision feedback equalizer. That is, in general, a small loss in performance of 1 to 2 dB is possible at error rates below 10 to the power minus 2, but the decision errors in the feedback filters are not catastrophic. Although the DFE outperforms a linear equalizer, it is not the optimum equalizer from the viewpoint of minimizing the probability of error. As indicated previously, the optimum detector in a digital communication system in the presence of ISI, that is inter-symbol interference, is a ML symbol sequence detector. Now in conclusion, we can mention that adaptive equalizers are widely used in high-speed digital communication systems for telephone channels. That is high-speed telephone line modems, that is of bitrate above 2400 bps, generally include an adaptive equalizer that is implemented as an FIR filter with the coefficients that are adjusted based on the MMSE criteria, that is minimum mean square error criteria. Depending on the data speed, the equalizer typically spans between 20 and 70 symbols. The LMS algorithm is usually employed for the adjustment of the equalizer coefficients adaptively.